Hello and welcome back to another video. So when the iPhone XS or XS Max was released, I was extremely disappointed with Apple. As someone who upgraded his iPhone every year, I couldn't believe that Apple spent an entire year on this phone. At the same time, I decided not to upgrade my iPhone X, and I eventually upgraded to the Galaxy S10. Recently, I tried using the iPhone X again to see how it held up in 2020, and now I made the switch that I decided not to do in 2018. So here are my thoughts, and I'm gonna let you know if I believe that you should buy this XS Max now. Currently, you can get this iPhone XS Max for about $500 on Swappa and about $590 on Amazon Renewed. As for the specs, you get Apple's A12 Bionic, 64 gigabytes of base storage with 4 gigabytes of RAM, a 6.5-inch OLED display, and a battery with a capacity of 3174 milliamp hours. Although this was the first large iPhone with the design of the iPhone X, which is part of the reason they called it the Max, the design was still very underwhelming to me. At the time, I was very discontent with Apple's notch, and they kept the notch the same size, but it is relatively smaller on the larger display of the XS Max, but overall the design was unchanged. The display itself is actually a very nice panel. It's an OLED display with 6.5 inches with a 2688 by 1242p resolution. That equates to a PPI of about 458. It's not 1440p like some other phones, but that's more than okay in this size. And it's 60 Hz, but that was normal as well. The peak brightness of 725 nits is more than enough when you use it outside. Given this display, watching content is quite good. In addition, the dual speakers are some of the best I've ever used. Let me show you guys YouTube right now. So this is a video from my friend RJ, and he shoots in 18:9 content. An 18:9 looks really good on this phone, with the notch really not getting in the way and the black bars being very slim. And the speaker quality is some of the best I've used in a phone. Here's a little example.
RJ here, and these are the Google Pixel Buds. They retail for around $179 US.
So as you could tell there, it's very clear, and they get plenty loud. That was not on full loudness. And real quickly, here's a video of mine, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like in the regular 16:9 aspect ratio. Again, it's great. Overall, watching content on here is quite a pleasure. Another aspect of this phone that benefits from the display and speaker setup is gaming, and here we'll give you a quick COD mobile test. As you can tell from right here, just even right away, it's extremely smooth.
Reloading. Changing mag! Cover me, reloading!
I don't think we died. Yeah, like I said, I didn't die. So, good game there. So as you can tell there, the gaming experience was very smooth, and the overall performance of the phone is top notch, and that is probably due to the A12 Bionic, which is an amazing SoC. Okay, so one thing that's not so good on this phone is the battery life. It's got a 3174 milliamp hour battery, which was the biggest on an iPhone at the time in 2018. In my particular model, it has a battery capacity of 90%, which isn't that great, but it's probably what you'll see if you're trying to buy used iPhone XS's on the used market, of course. I found the battery life overall to be decent. I definitely consider myself a power user, and I would always have to charge the phone at least once a day. Right now it's 1:24 p.m. and I have about 51%. Another mediocre aspect of the phone is the camera, and I'll be showing you guys some samples as we go through this, as you can see. But don't get me wrong, it's solid overall, but I've used phones like the Pixel 4 and the iPhone 11 Pro, and it just doesn't compete in stills. As for video, it's very good, as most iPhones are. For me, I would choose a decent amount of phones over this one when it comes to needing to take photos, but it would still be one of my top choices for recording video. So it just depends on which you take more of. Before talking about if this phone is actually worth it in 2020, it's important to note that this runs iOS 13 and will get software updates for years to come. Also, it performs all the Apple ecosystem features that we come to expect. So your iMessage, your FaceTime, AirDrop, etc. It's all going to work with that, obviously, and many people do value those features. As we discussed in the beginning, the iPhone XS Max goes for roughly $550 now if you want to combine those two, Amazon Renewed and Swappa. And given that the iPhone 12 series is very close, we need to consider those phones based on the leaks. Obviously, $550 is much less than the $1,000 plus that the iPhone 12 Pro models will cost, but it isn't too far of the starting price of $699 that the rumored iPhone 12 5.4 inch is supposed to cost, and there'll be a 6.1 inch regular iPhone 12 as well. Now, usually I'd advocate for getting the iPhone XS Max over something like the iPhone XR or the 11 because the display is just so much better. But since the new rumored iPhone 12 base model phones are supposed to have 1080p OLED displays, then maybe you guys should wait for that. When comparing to the XS Max, those phones will have a better battery life, 5G, camera. The XS Max is still a very solid phone, and if you need a big phone without breaking the bank, it could be a great option. If you're somebody on Android looking to switch to iOS, this could be a decent device as well to get you started, but I'm guessing more people who are on iOS are going to be looking at getting this phone now in 2020. My overall experience with this has been very solid, and although I was very skeptical in 2018 when I had the iPhone 10, this is still a good phone for now. But you could also be looking at the iPhone 10, which, if it's considerably cheaper, might be the better option for you. So thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new. Thank you to anyone returning from a previous video. I appreciate this, and peace.